All right, going to do a quick little walkthrough of the complete process from start to finish on how I make the shift knobs. So this one's going to be for resin. Basically, wood's exactly the same, except I'm using wood for the material as well. So starting off, I've got my Alumilite Amazing Clear Cast that I use. 1:1 volume that I mix down here in these clear cups. Each 3-inch shift knob takes about 4 pumps of each of these. That depends on what pigments I'm going to use. After I have all of the resin in the clear cups over there, I come here to my pigment box, pigment station that I've got. I've got a bunch to choose from there. And also above the lathe, I have another batch that I can choose from up here. And then I have a little scoop that is right there, that little spoon. Inside the pigment cups, I take 1 scoop per cup of resin. I mix them all up with my array of stir sticks that I have over here. Don't mind my giant mess right now. I'm cleaning up and getting ready for an event. I mix them vigorously for 30 seconds to a minute, and I put them into these white PVC blanks here. As you can see, that one's got a hole drilled in the bottom, but it's just a 2-inch PVC tube with a cap on the bottom. I spray it with a mold release, which is right here. And that way it doesn't stick to the pipe. Once I have it into the mold, I put it into my homemade pressure pot that I made here out of a paint pot from Harbor Freight. Throw the latches up, tighten it down, and I've got my compressor over there that I pressurize it to 40, 50, or 60 PSI. Usually I've been using 60, but it depends what mold I'm using for demold time. That has to sit for at least 24 hours to hard set, and then 48 to 72 hours to fully cure. Once it is fully cured, it pops out of the 2-inch PVC mold like this as a weird rough kind of cast. I then have to create an insert, an aluminum insert for it, which I use 1-inch round aluminum bar, rough 6061 material. I mill channels on each end, and then I drill a center hole, mainly always for Subaru fitment. I then get a tap, and I tap it to whatever the fitment is, usually M12 by 1.25. That's what I've been used for all my Subaru. And then I get another small itty bitty cup with a bit of resin. After I have drilled a 1-inch hole in it, I then can set the insert into the piece, whether it be resin or wood, and then I over pour it with resin to seal it into place and lock it into place so that that doesn't go anywhere. Once I have that done and cured for at least 24 hours, I then re-drill and tap the insert that's in there. I've lately been filling them with hot glue prior so that it's easier to clean the threads out. But once I have that insert set in there, it then can come over to my mandrels. This is the wrong mandrel, but I then slide that bad boy on the mandrel, turn it on so it gets to spinning, and then I use the various amount of unorganized cutting tools I have here to bring it to shape. Once I have it to rough shaping, however I want it, for instance, like this rough shaped and sanded 5-speed knob that I have here, that's a hybrid, wood and resin, still has sand marks on it. Once I get it to something like this, then I move on to all of my sanding processes, which basically it's simple. I have a rough 80 grit to remove a lot of material, a 320 grit that I dry sand as well to kind of refine it down. I then have a bucket of water that I didn't empty from this morning. This tray goes on the lathe to protect it. The bucket of water, dirty in this case, comes out, and then I work my way down again from wet sanding. I wet sand again with the 320. I wet sand with the 600, and I wet sand with the either 12 or 1500, running out of that stuff until I've got a nice matte type of finish to the knob, which again, this is not at that point. And then I come over here to my compounds. I like to start with the medium cutting compound from 3M. This stuff is awesome. It brings to a pretty decent luster. And then I come back with the Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. This is the best in the game. I've been using this for 2 years now. It's awesome for this. This brings it to a very, very, very nice clean luster. I finish it up with the Ultimate Polish by Meguiar's. And that's it. I've kind of been hitting it with a buffing wheel at the end if it needs it. But honestly, I can bring it to a super nice mirror luster just with the cutting compound and the polishing compound by Meguiar's. After that, I rethread the insert one more time. I hit it with air, compressed air, to make sure there's no chips or anything inside it. And then you've got yourself a finished product, which I have up here, a few of them. Actually, this one's not finished. Don't look at that one. But we've got the 6-speed knobs over here that have the OEM lockout recession in them for the 6-speed manual transmission on Subarus. The 5-speed, I've been leaving them with a flat bottom. I actually have to flatten this bottom off, peel some of that off. But I've been leaving these with a flat bottom because it has shown to be more. This one's going to be a 5-speed as well. They've been, it's more compatible with the 5-speed shifters without the boots to leave this as a flat bottom. And then I just have been ending up giving a locking nut and a flange nut to hold the boot in place. And that's it. And then I've got this one over here. I just finished this morning. This is for the automatic transmission with Subarus. It has a M10 by 1.25 with a real deep recession in there. You can see that I've left quite the deep recession for it. But that's it. That's the process. Sweet. Bye.